Ever since artificial intelligence, also known as AI, has started to make its way into the mainstream consumer market, there is now not a single place you can go online without interacting with AI in some way, shape or form. Nowadays, it almost feels like an obligation for every single tech company or website to implement AI into their product in some way, even if it makes zero sense whatsoever. And with generative AI, even a lot of content which you consume online may be AI generated. Like articles, emails, descriptions, but also pictures and videos and voiceovers. All of it can now be generated with AI. And naturally, it has also found its way into the Minecraft community. More specifically, the Minecraft modding community. Because let's face it, there is just a lot of AI generated content out there nowadays. On Minecraft content platforms like Spigot, Modrinf and CurseForge, it does not take a lot of scrolling until you stumble upon something AI generated. Whether it be the profile picture of the plugin or mod, the description on the project page, or the additional gallery images added to the project page, a lot of it nowadays is AI generated. And not just that, a lot of plugin and mod developers, or should I rather say plugin and mod creators, now also use generative AI to generate code for their project. Now, of course, in general, if you are a Minecraft modding developer and you've written some code and you want it to be double checked to make sure you did everything correctly, then there's nothing wrong with asking AI to have a second look. But those are not the use cases I'm referring to. What also happens nowadays is some people just ask AI to generate a full plugin for them. And because ChatGPT, for example, can easily write Java or Kotlin code, it will simply do that. Now, I've come across some of these AI generated projects a couple times. The first time was during a live stream here on the channel where we checked out random Minecraft plugins submitted by subscribers. At some point, we came across a very strange looking and buggy project, and eventually it turned out to be completely AI generated. Everything seemed to work fine at the surface, but as soon as you started to actually use the plugin for anything, it started to break down very quickly. And if you're someone who generates a full plugin or mod, but you don't actually know how to write in Java or Kotlin, then you will also not be able to bug fix it. And trust me, that is needed if you ask AI to write any code. You will need to fix some bugs. So that is for sure a moral question. Should we allow fully AI generated mods and plugins onto websites like Modrinf, CurseForge and Spigot? But also, should we allow AI generated profile pictures and descriptions and gallery images? Is that something which should be fine, or should there maybe be some rules and guidelines in place for it? That's an interesting question, and I would actually like to know your opinion. What do you think would be best? Do let me know in the comments down below. The only thing I know is that as of right now, none of the big Minecraft content distribution websites seem to have any rules or guidelines in place for this at all. I've had a look at Spigot's terms of service and rules, but the words AI, artificial intelligence, or generative AI are not even mentioned in there once. And Modrinf's stance on this might be the most straightforward, because they actually answered a question about this during a 1-hour Q&A they did not too long ago. Someone asked the Modrinf team, what are your thoughts on AI generated content such as thumbnails, descriptions and artwork? And will they ever be not allowed on Modrinf? And to that question, the Modrinf team said the following.
This is kind of a complicated question to answer. I'll say I wouldn't use generative AI. I think a lot of us wouldn't use generative AI in that sort of way on our mods. But as of right now, we don't really have any plans to prohibit it, and it would be really difficult for us to in the first place. Just from a moderation perspective, the time and effort it would take to prove that someone is, using generative AI for something would be really difficult, and it would be something that we would feel terrible getting wrong.
Yeah, so that's pretty clear. Modrinth doesn't have any plans to prohibit AI-generated content on their website. It will be a gigantic hassle in terms of moderation, cause you kinda have to prove that something is AI-generated before you can, for example, remove it. And while I don't like seeing all of this AI-generated content on these platforms, I do kinda understand where they're coming from. So, very random example. I have a Discord server called the Kasasara Universe. In case you're not in there yet, do make sure to join. It would be awesome to see you there. But on my Discord, we have a promotion channel where you can promote, for example, your Minecraft or your Discord server. Now, in that promotion channel, we for a while had a rule that we would not allow AI-generated promotions. But eventually, we decided to remove that rule for the simple reason that it can be rather hard to prove if something is AI-generated or not. Because yes, if you simply ask ChatGPT, hey, can you generate a promotion for my Minecraft server? Then the promotion will look very AI-generated. But you can also just ask it to make it not seem very AI-generated and a bit less formal, and it will also just do that. Now all of a sudden you have a kind of informal message that doesn't particularly scream AI-generated. And that's not the only thing. Something which AI also gets used for a lot is translation. I mean, the Minecraft community is huge, but this channel and my Discord too are English only, because that is the language that we understand and the language that we can moderate in. So if you want to promote something on the Discord, you should also do that in English. But if English is not your native language and you have a hard time writing a message in English, I can totally see that you would want to use AI to translate it to English more efficiently. So does that make it AI generated? And another thing I've noticed, and this is actually quite funny, as AI has been around for a while now, there are now people who've gotten so used to seeing AI generated text that as soon as they have to write some text for themselves, it almost starts to look like AI generated text. Just because some people see and read it so often, if they now want to write something themselves, it almost appears as if it was AI generated. But in reality, it is not. I've seen this multiple times. It is really funny. So keeping all of these things in mind, we've eventually decided to remove that rule from the promotion channel. And yes, in a lot of cases, it is still very clear when something is AI generated and when not. It is still relatively easy to uncover. But let's say in a year from now, AI will have improved so much that it is gonna be really hard to distinguish. How would you then enforce a rule like that? And also the arguments the Modrinth team made about maybe guessing it wrong is very valid. Let's say you are an artist and you make a piece of art, which will eventually be used as, for example, the profile picture of a project. Then how sucky would it be if the Modrinth team tells you that it's not allowed because it is AI generated? That must feel absolutely awful as an artist. So I can totally see that they want to avoid that. But even after saying all of this, at the same time, I don't like having this AI generated content on these platforms. When simply scrolling around trying to find new cool mods and plugins, you will stumble upon a bunch of it. And it does really suck. It feels very spammy, uncreative, and kinda just like bloatware on the website, which is not a really nice thing to have. So in my opinion, it definitely is a problem. AI-generated content on Modrinth and Spigot and CurseForge, it is a problem. It is also something a lot of people dislike a lot. The question is just, how do we deal with it? I guess we're gonna find out over time. At some point, we will see how these platforms are gonna handle this generative AI content. One thing I know for sure is that even these platforms don't want their whole website to be filled up to the brim with AI-generated junk. And if it is just a small portion, I think most will just swallow that pill. But as soon as it gets too much and too intrusive, there will be some action in some way, shape or form. What it's gonna look like? I have no clue. But I guess we will find out. Again, do let me know in the comments down below what you think about this. What do you think these platforms should do against generative AI? And don't just say, yeah, they should forbid it completely, because then the same moderation question arises. How will we determine if something is AI generated or not? Or are we gonna allow AI generated content as long as we don't notice it is AI generated? And as soon as it is clearly AI generated, then it's not allowed? I don't really know how that would work, but do let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. And that's gonna be it for today. Do make sure to subscribe to my channel, join my Discord. Thank you so much, channel members. And then I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye, see you later, bye bye!